Yes, well, between the liners, Manchester United have drawn 1-1 against Wolves, and Arsenal have beaten Villa 4-0, which we'll get into. But more importantly, United have drawn 1-1 against Wolves at Old Trafford. And honestly, if any of my family are watching this, any of my future in laws are watching this, please turn off right now because I think I'm about to get banned from YouTube after what I say tonight. If anyone gets in the live chat as well, let me know. Honestly, I'm just fuming. Let me just double check that the live stream is on. Yes, it is. I was meant to have Coach Watson joining me here today. I think he might not be able to make it, so it might just be me for a while. We might have Tunji and Ryan joining us on the live chat very shortly as well, on the live stream very shortly as well. But honestly, what an absolutely shocking performance. And there's only one thing that can be said from this. Ruben Amorim supports Liverpool Football Club. This guy is not the manager of Manchester United, does not care about Manchester United. This guy supports Liverpool Football Club, and that's the only explanation for some of the decisions he's making as the manager of this football club. I cannot believe, you know what, even away from the manager, to be honest, because he's got a lot to blame for today as well. But the players, absolutely disgraceful performance today. You're letting a side that has 2 points in December outplay you at Old Trafford. Absolute disgraceful performance from some of those players. Especially, I'm looking at the senior players today, the supposedly leaders in that squad. I'm looking at Martinez today as well, and you know I love Martinez. Poor. Casemiro, poor. Cunha, who's meant to be a senior player in that squad, in that starting lineup today. Shocking performance. Honestly, I can't believe what I've just seen today, man. Fuming. Shout out everyone that's getting involved in the live stream if you're here watching as well. And you know what? I want to call out the two guys that called me out after I posted a YouTube short the other day when we played against Newcastle. I said the performance weren't good enough. I had two guys in the YouTube short saying I'm too negative and I'm always complaining. Firstly, I'm one of the most biased and delusional fans, United fans there are usually. I'm usually always looking in the positive side. And I had two guys call me out and say that I was too negative after the Newcastle game. And I said that the performance was poor and it's not sustainable. And look what we did today against Wolves at home. They've got 2 points. Like I said, if any of my family are watching this, please get off this stream right now because I'm going to get banned from YouTube today. Ruben Amorim supports Liverpool Football Club. Shout out Tunji in the live stream, in the live chat. He said, up the Arsenal. Tunj, fair play to you guys, innit? I'm gonna get to the Arsenal game in a bit. Can't say anything other than the fact that you guys were rampant. 4-0, 4-1 victory against Aston Villa. And to be honest, in that second half, Arsenal were absolutely sensational, especially from like the 45th to the 75th odd minute or something. You guys were absolutely sensational. I'll give you that. And I expected a lot more from Villa, to be honest. And even in the first half, Villa did put up a bit of a fight. But I'm gonna go through the United game. So firstly, because I can't believe what I witnessed today, man. Tunjay said he might join later. Will let me know. Thank you, Tunjay. Will be good to get your thoughts on the game. Shout out Safe in the chat. 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Safe, I'm gonna have to disagree with you, my bro. I'm gonna say it's 1 step forward, 10 steps back. You're not gonna get anywhere with this manager. We're not gonna get nowhere, bro. How did we put in a decent? You know, in the last few games at Old Trafford especially, in the first 20 or so minutes, we've come out on top. We usually have a bit of energy. We've come out with a bit of intensity. Where was that today? There was none of that today. You're playing Wolves at home. They've got 2 points. I don't get it. I didn't see no intensity throughout the whole game. So lethargic, so slow. The fans at Old Trafford are having to force themselves to tell the players to attack, attack, attack. It's embarrassing. Ruben Amorim supports Liverpool Football Club. Safe said, I don't care if we're missing half our team. You cannot drop points to Wolves. You know what the worst thing about it is, Safe? Wolves had half their squad out as well. That's not even their full strength team. We've got, like I said at the beginning of this video, I don't know how many of you have missed it. The senior players have to take the blame today. I'm including Martinez in that. I'm including Casemiro, Ugarte, Dalot, Luke Shaw. I'm including all of them. And especially Cunha, in my opinion. I thought Cunha was poor. You're playing your ex-team. Cunha, I criticised Cunha in that last game against Newcastle. And I saw some fans saying that he played well. Yes, he carried the ball well in that last game. What did he do today? He couldn't even carry the ball. And you know what? Shout out the Wolves team as well, because it's not only that we played poor, Wolves played pretty decent, considering the fact that they're bottom of the league with 2 points. They had more enthusiasm and determination to get the foot on the ball more than us. Every time Cunha got the ball, they had a Wolves player surrounding him and getting the ball back quicker than him. Anytime we ran forward with the ball, Casemiro a couple times, he got dispossessed so quickly. It's embarrassing. Why do Wolves, bottom of the league, have more fight than us? I don't get it. And again, I want to repeat, Ruben Amorim supports Liverpool Football Club. The longer you keep this guy in charge, the more he's going to hold us back and we're going to slide down the table. Let's look at it at the beginning, yeah? We played decent in the first half against Newcastle, yeah? And then we reverted back to back six because Ruben Amorim wanted to hold on to a 1-0 lead at Old Trafford, despite having 45 minutes left in the game, yeah, against Newcastle. I'm using that as a measuring stick because that's the last game we had. So some people might say you're only as good as your last game and you can only go based off that. Why did we revert back to a back five today against bottom of the table Wolves? Can someone explain to me? Because I don't get it. You don't need those 5 defenders playing against Wolves. And it didn't do anything. If anything, we look worse. And you know what? I'm blaming the manager here, but the players really need to have a look at themselves, because whether it is 3 at the back, 5 at the back, 4 at the back or not, where was the intensity in the game? It was so slow from minute 1. The players just probably thought they're coming against Wolves, we're going to get an easy win. No. You just made yourselves look like fools in front of everyone. Safe said, dropping points to Everton, Wolves, Bournemouth and West Ham at home. We could be comfortably in top 4 by now. My brother, we might even have been second. But it just shows how far off the manager and the players are of being anywhere near that top 4. The only reason why we're even near them is because the rest of the league is either poor or competitive. The smaller teams are picking up points against the teams that are near the top. But we shouldn't be anywhere near that. We are crap. If any of my family are watching this, please jump off the stream now. I can't swear because you guys are watching. If any of my future in-laws are watching this right now, please jump off. I want to get banned from YouTube tonight. That's the amount of crud I want to speak about Ruben Amorim and this football team right now. Let's take it to the beginning of the game. Like I said, Amorim decided to go back to a back 5. He decided to go put Dorgu back on the left wing back, where he's been not great, if we're being honest. I know he's a young kid. He's not been great there for the last, how long has it been now? About 16 months or so, however long he's been there, 18 months even. He's not been great there. But what? You decide to put him back at left wing back, despite him having his best game in a while at right mid in the last game when we played 4-4-2, 4-2-3-1, whatever you want to call it. You ruined the harmony of our attack. And then what else did you do? I get it, Mount was injured, so you put in Zirkzee. You put in Zirkzee at right 10. Well, Amorim, you got no brain. You put in Zirkzee at right 10. The guy's been crap since he signed for United. He's awful. Shit footballer. And you put him right 10. How does that make any sense? What do you expect from the guy? You're not even putting him close to near his best position. Play him off the striker. Safe said, ooh, that's a wrong one. Safe said, Luke Shaw, he got a goal. I can't see this guy. Thank you, my bro. Someone that's finally speaking facts. You know how much praise Luke Shaw's been getting this season? Look, I rate Luke Shaw because he's actually played at least 15 games this season, which is an absolute miracle for him. But it's a World Cup year. But I'm sick and tired of the praise that this guy's been getting this season for doing an average job. You're having to play him at left centre back just to accommodate for the fact that he's not physical enough or athletic enough to play in his actual position anymore. You can't even play him left wing back because he's not fit enough anymore. And saying that, I actually thought he played decent at left back against Newcastle. So I can't go too far on that, but he's playing left centre back. What did he do today? I saw him overlap Dorgu once today, and you're playing Wolves. What else did Luke Shaw do today? He's a symbol of why this squad is so backwards and is not capable of taking it to the next level because you're stuck with waste man like Luke Shaw, still playing for your club. He's been there for 10 years now. He's due a testimonial. And what has he done for this club? Honestly, he's probably had about a total of 2 good seasons out of 10, maybe 3 if we're pushing it. We're stuck with these guys. Shocking performance, man. Like I said, Amorim, you got blood on your hands. You decided to go back to a back 3, back 5, despite the success we had in the first half of Newcastle game. And then you decided to change and put 6 at the back. Honestly, man, I feel like I don't even feel hurt, bro. Like that game really angered me a lot. I was watching that game and I felt my blood boiling. Really difficult to watch. I had the Arsenal Villa game on the side as well, and I'm sure we've all seen how they played. I even had the Chelsea Bournemouth game on before the game started. But I noticed from the first 20 minutes, we looked too slow. There was no intensity in the game. Any attacking movement was labored, no movement. I actually thought Sesko had a really good first half, actually. I want to take that back about the whole team. I thought Sesko had a really good first half and probably his best performance in a United shirt. That was probably one positive. He probably should have scored. He had one decent header that hit the post. He got the ball in the byline after a decent run in behind, a pass in from Dorgu at one point, and he took his defender on. Was that Doherty? I swear, is that the same Doherty that played for Spurs, by the way? That played for Wolves, then Spurs, then back to Wolves. Did he even go Atletico Madrid at one point? Or am I going mad? But yeah, anyway, Sesko took on Doherty, turned him round, took a shot. It was deflected wide for a corner. We didn't get the corner. But I thought Sesko had a decent game, actually. Probably his best performance in a United shirt. Other than that, yeah, who else actually had a good game? So, Heaven, obviously, we scored a goal from Zirkzee. The shittest goal I've ever seen from the shittest player I've ever seen in the United shirt, by the way. I can't believe some United fans were actually saying that Zirkzee is a good player. And by the way, like I said it in the beginning of the video, I want to see those 2 United fans that cussed me out on the Newcastle short and said that I'm too negative over the win in the last game. Just because you win the last game doesn't mean that you can't critique the performance, because I said it's not sustainable. And look at the crap that we put out today. I swear my voice is actually starting to hurt. Anyway, the goal that we scored, Zirkzee scored, the luckiest goal I've ever seen. Heaven did really well to win the ball back high up on the pitch. He's really aggressive with it. And that's one thing I love about Heaven is his determination to take it forward and look for a forward pass and look for a pass between the lines. A lot of our players really struggle with that, as you saw today. It's easy to pass it out wide or to pass it backwards. How can Heaven, the 19-year-old kid who's barely played any senior minutes, sent any senior appearances, be the only one to be smart enough to pass it through a line to a forward. These players are shook. There's no courage, no bravery in these players to pass it through the lines to a striker's feet. But Heaven, the 19-year-old, can do it. What on earth is going on with these players? But yeah, good pass from Heaven inside after winning it high up. Zirkzee, fair play to him. He created the space well to get his shot away. Nice little drag back onto his left foot. The shot was poor. I don't even know if it was going on target. The defender's here in. It's deflected off the defender and it's gone in. We've got the goal. And after that goal we scored, I actually felt like there was a bit more intensity in the team. We raised the levels for about 5-10 minutes and then we dropped off again. How are Wolves having you dropping back into your own half in the first half after you've gone 1-0 up? How does that make sense? How is our team so crap that we're getting pinned in our own half in the first half? I need to check the possession stats quickly. I'm sorry. Safe, I'm going to read your chat very shortly. 1 second, my bro. Wolves had 44% possession. 44% possession against us in the whole game. They had a higher XG than us. I'm looking at it now. It says 1.02 XG for Wolves and 0.81 XG for United at Old Trafford. Get rid of the manager right now. I've seen enough. You can't tell me Ruben Amorim doesn't support Liverpool. You can't tell me that. We had 6 shots on target, apparently, and Wolves had 4. And they still had a higher XG from that. Embarrassing. Safe said, Heaven was the only player who played good. Lammens made good saves, but I think his positioning wasn't greatest for the corner. That goal came from so far back. How isn't that being saved? And that's a good point, Safe, you know. I'm trying to avoid criticizing the young guys, to be honest. And I will categorize Lammens as part of one of the young guys, to be honest. And I don't want to be too harsh on Lammens because I thought he made some really good saves. There was another one he made a good save in the first half, I believe, from Bueno when he saved it with his feet, and it was quite De Gea like. If I don't know if you think I'm wrong, but he stuck out his foot, saved Bueno's shot. It looked like he was going to go into the bottom corner, and there was a few other big saves that Lammens made in the second half as well. I thought so. I didn't want to be too harsh on him, but I think you do make a good point. The header did come from quite far back, but I guess Lammens is kind of scurrying to the other side. Because of Zirkzee's header, he's running back to the other side. Krejci, who's headed it in, has headed it into the opposite corner. I thought it was a great header, to be fair. But yeah, I do hear what you're saying. I guess his positioning wasn't great. I'm probably going to have to go back and see that. So yeah, I'm not going to be too harsh on Lammens, to be honest, because I did think he had a good game other than that. And let's be real. If it weren't for him, we would have lost that game. And we would have lost that game pretty comfortably, which is saying something. Heavens, I thought, was decent. He's a young kid. I'm not going to blame any of the kids that came on in the second half. Jack Fletcher, who I think hasn't really done much in either of his last 2 games, if I'm being honest. Mantato, I think he played, that's his debut, right? I don't think he's played any other games for us. I'm not going to say anything about him because he's been thrown into the deep end, unfortunately. And also, you have to criticize Amorim for that again because he's thrown these guys on when we're desperate for points. But there were times when we were up and leading games and he didn't bring these guys on. So you've got to question Amorim's man management again. So yeah, I get he's playing the academy boys now, ironically, when Mainu's out injured. But he's done it in the wrong time. Or at least, say, for example, he gave Mantato minutes earlier on in the season when we were actually winning games or we were up leading the game. You're bringing them on 1-1 against Wolves when we're desperate for a goal is very unfair. And it's not great squad management, not great management of the youth players either. And ironically, like I said, it's happening when Mainu's injured. Euro, again, when he came on, I'm really concerned about Euro just because of his lack of confidence. I know he's still one of the young guys, so I don't want to be too harsh on him, but he was meant to be one of the guys that could carry the ball forward and progress the ball through the lines. And he seems to have lost that, to be honest. So that's a real shame. I didn't really think, like I said, I blame the senior players in this one. Martinez, Casemiro, I'll put Ugarte in that as well. Dalot, Cunha. Cunha really disappointed me today, man. He should have had a point to prove against Wolves. And I think he did in the last game against Wolves. I thought he was pretty on it. But against Newcastle, I saw a lot of people praising him for carrying the ball and running with it. Today, he couldn't even run with the ball. He couldn't even carry it that far before a Wolves player got a tackle in. And that's embarrassing. That's one of our star signings from this summer. That's a player that has got great ability, but it's just not stepping up to standard. It's not up to standard at the moment. Let's see what Safe said. Cunha is so poor. We're missing several creative players. You have to step up and be that player. What chances did we have? Cunha is a flop so far, in my opinion. At least Wirtz creates chances. Miss Bruno. You know what? I wouldn't say he's a flop so far because there's been games that I thought he's done okay. But you're right. What chances did that guy create today? We're playing against Wolves, bottom of the league. You can't create a chance against Wolves. And Safe, like, remind me, what chances did we create today? The only one I can think of is Dorgu putting across for Sesko at one point, which was it was a difficult cross though, because Sesko was on like the edge of the box. How was he meant to header that on target? It was difficult. There was one where Casemiro putting across for Sesko on the outside of his boot, which Sesko definitely should have done better. Other than that, what clear-cut chances did we create? Because I don't remember any. And Cunha, like you said, Cunha was our main attacking threat in that game, right? It should have been him that was creating the chances. He was our star signing. He was our main attacking signing, other than Sesko, of course, in that starting lineup today. And he created nothing. And that's poor. And we've said, me and Coach Watson have said in other games, Cunha's too focused on being a star player and trying to score goals now. Trying to score goals himself, yeah? Did he have a shot today? Did Cunha even have a shot today? Did he create one chance? I need to see Cunha's individual stats right now. I'm fuming. Cunha had 2 shots today, apparently, 0 on target. His expected assist was 0.21. His chances created 0. He won 5 fouls. He had 29 passes. I'm not being funny, yeah? People criticize Bruno a lot, but if Bruno is playing in this game, he's having minimum 60 passes. Cunha had 29 passes, 89.7% passing accuracy. And normally people will praise that. You know what that tells me? The guy was afraid to play a risk. People criticize Bruno for taking too many risks. Your star signing Cunha, and I like Cunha, so I don't want to be too harsh on him in general. But in this game today, especially, poor. Against Newcastle, I saw guys praising him. Poor. You guys are getting gassed up by guys carrying the ball 5-10 yards. That's not enough. We need to create chances. And Bremo's gone. Ahmad's gone. You need to create chances. Step up to the plate. You're playing for Man United. It's all good having a good attitude. And I read that today that Cunha is good with the academy kids that are coming to the starting lineup. So what? You're not performing out there on the pitch. I don't care about all the noise off the pitch. Do something on the pitch. I'm looking at it now. Cunha had 1 tackle as well. And he won it. 1 tackle. Wolves had 44% possession of the ball. Go get the ball back for your team. Dalot. What on earth did Dalot do today? Crap. Apparently, Dalot created 1 chance. Dalot is creating 1 more chance than Cunha created. Is that the manager? Is that the player? No, it's both of them. Anyway, let me go back to what I was saying. So we got the goal. Zirkzee, shittest player ever I've ever seen in my life. Scored the shittest goal I've ever seen in my life. Well done to Heaven. Like I said, I thought Heaven had a decent game. There was one point Heaven actually lost his man, and Tolu, I think the Wolves striker, big lad, by the way, big, massive lump, did a bit of movement and got away from Heaven and got the header off, and he should have done better actually. But definitely something that Heaven has to learn from. You can't switch off at any time. And sometimes I've noticed that with Heaven's defending, he does have the tendency to occasionally switch off. And I think Euro has that tendency as well. But I put that down to their youthfulness and lack of experience. And then yeah, the like I said, I thought Lammens made some really good saves, but Wolves constantly made quite a few chances throughout that whole game, which is really disappointing. The goal from Krejci, as Safes mentioned, Lammens' positioning might have not been great, but I'll put it down to a good header, to be honest. And Zirkzee's header away, I'm gonna need to go look back at that, but could he not have cleared that header away further away? Did he not misread the jump and misread the header? And he's ended up looping it back into his box. You're at the front post for a reason. You got the fattest head on the team. Head the ball out. You can't win a single header up front, but you win the header in your own box and you head it back to your opposition into the danger area. You got the fattest head on the flipping pitch. Listen, if any of my future in-laws are watching this, I'm so sorry. I'm going to calm it down just in case they are, yeah? I don't want to get banned from YouTube today. I don't want to embarrass my future in-laws. I don't want to embarrass my family members right now. Let me calm it down a bit. Anyway, look, Ruben Amorim supports Liverpool. That's one thing for sure. Get him out right now, please, this second. I want to hear what he's saying in the press conference, by the way. I don't know what he said. Can I just quickly search that while you guys are live? Or if anyone's in the live chat, I think there's 5 or 6 of you. Can anyone tell me what Amorim is saying right now so I can cuss the crap out of him? Because there's no defending this. Why did he change formation? I typed in Amorim's name on Twitter, yeah? Let me just read some of these tweets quickly. I'm glad Amorim got that result after what he done. He's a effing coward, and the sooner he leaves, the better for Man United. Amorim is a piece of shit, and that's me being kind. Is it fair to say that Amorim reverting back to his original system that he's tweaked the past 3 games makes us look significantly worse in and out of possession, or am I just a moaning bastard? Honestly, Amorim is just throwing on the kids to say he's giving them a chance because other than Lacey, Kone, and Obi, there's no reason to see anyone else. And that's a shout. And you know, one more thing that pisses me off about this formation, yeah? That's something that I really don't get. How comes we let so many teams get balls into the box when we've got 3 centre backs and 2 wing backs? Why do the opposition players, opposition wide players, have so much time to get across into the box? Tell me, how does that make sense? There's literally, you've got 2 players in that zone because of Amorim's crap formation, and they still got so much time to get the ball into the box. How many times did a Wolves player get the opportunity to get a cross in and then get a shot away or get a header away? How? Someone please, I know that's partially down to the players because they're not closing down players enough, which leads to a lack of intensity to get the ball back, lack of determination, lack of energy, lack of desire to get the ball back. But also, the manager has placed them in these zones and they're still not close enough to get close down across. How does that make sense? Safe said, oh my God, Zirkzee is the shortest tall player I've ever seen. He's 6'4". He plays like he's 5'8". My brother, I think he plays like he's 4'4". I don't see him win a single header when he's up front. I'm actually glad he came off the pitch, by the way, because whether it's injury or not, I'd rather see a youth player get minutes out there rather than see Zirkzee do the minutes that he was on. Because he did nothing as well. I blame Cunha for a lot of the lack of chance creation, the lack of creativity. But Zirkzee, when he's on the pitch, you're a man down. So you know what? Fair play to United, boys. We basically got a 1-1 draw against a Premier League side with a man down. That's the only positive I can take from this. Dorgu, I thought, was poor. And you know what? That's been harsh, man. I thought Dorgu was okay. Like, maybe a 4 or 5 out of 10, because a lot of the other players were worse. You know what? Let's just start doing the player ratings. Lammens, I'm gonna give him 7 out of 10. Safe, if you agree with me or not, let me know. Lammens, I'm gonna give him 7 out of 10. Shaw, 1 out of 10. Martinez, safe. Am I wrong in thinking Martinez wasn't great today, by the way? I I'll give him a 3 out of 10. And that's just because I like him. Heaven, I'll give him 5 out of 10. Why did Heaven come off, by the way? What is wrong with Amorim, bro? Why does he always take off centre backs for other centre backs? He took off Heaven for Euro, and Heaven was probably one of our better players. And Euro came on, and look, he did nothing. I don't want to be too harsh on him. I've not really been too impressed with him, especially in the last few months. But he came on and did nothing. He had nothing to the game. Wolves were still attacking us as much as they were in the first half, as much as they were for the first 75 minutes that Heaven was on. Euro was still getting attacked more. Even against Newcastle, when Euro came on at right back, he was getting rinsed at right back. This is a guy that's clearly low on confidence. Safe said Martinez 3, Shaw 1, Heaven 6. I'll agree with that, to be honest. I'll give Dalot a 1. I'll give Casemiro a 2.5. Ugarte, I actually thought Ugarte wasn't that bad, like for his standard. I'll give Ugarte a 3. At least he put himself out there. He got himself around the pitch. He was fighting a bit. He's just a bit crap, to be honest. He's put in a few stupid challenges. Dorgu, I'll give him a 4. Cunha, I'll give him a 1, honestly. And I hate to say that, but I'll give him a 1. Zirkzee, I'll give him a 0. I don't give a shit that he scored a goal. Sesko, I'll give Sesko 5, 6 out of 10. I thought he's one of our better players. Safe said Lammens 7, Dalot 0, and Dorgu 2. My bro. Wow. What'd you give? Who do you think was our best player, Safe, by the way? I would give. By the way, why don't you Safe? Why don't you jump on the stream, bro? You might as well jump on the stream. Get yourself a mic and headphones. You should have jumped on. Safe said Casemiro 2, Ugarte 2. He can't pass and fouls all the time. I can't agree with you anymore than that. To be honest, you're spot on. I just don't get it, bro. Like, how were we so bad today? Like, we've been bad this season. I get it, but today was shades like performance like last season, to be honest. And you know what? There's one thing I want to say as well. I actually thought Wolves did well, considering where they are. I thought they put in a really good shift and they play some decent football, Wolves, at times. They carved us open a few times. And yeah, man, fair play to Wolves, in it, considering where they are. Save said that Heaven was our best player. Yeah, I'll say Sesko, to be honest, but I hear it. Yeah. Yeah, I hear it. Yeah, really frustrating performance. Get Amorim out now. I'm going to move it on from the United game because that was abysmal. Hopefully, we get maybe Tunjay coming into the live stream as well. Maybe Ryan as well can give his thoughts on the United game. I don't know. I'm going to take it on to the Chelsea game quickly because I watched the first half of that and I've seen that it ended up full time 2-2 as well. So maybe I got the best of most of the game. So just going to have a quick look. Did anything go on in the second half or not? I can't really tell at the interval. Apparently, Chelsea had a few chances in the second half or something. But yeah, first half, I actually watching that Chelsea game, by the way, was really entertaining. I thought it was one of the best games I've seen this season from a neutral point of view. Enzo Fernandez scored a really good goal. Chelsea, every time they got a set piece against them, looked like they was about to concede. They got 2 throw-ins. I think Bournemouth scored from 2 throw-ins, actually. Semenyo, 2 throw-ins. Another thing, sorry, about the United game. Why are we doing the low on long throws, bro? Have we ever scored a goal from the low long throw? Please, someone tell me. I need to know what Amorim is saying after the game. I wish I could just pause the stream just so I could see what he's saying because I don't get it, man. Yeah. Anyway, back to the Chelsea game. Both their goals were from throw-ins, I believe. Palmer scored a penalty, and I thought the Palmer penalty was a joke, to be honest, because Semenyo barely touched the player. And I get it, it's contact, but is every little amount of contact a penalty? I get he's took Esteval off balance, but it was the slightest touch onto his leg. And Semenyo's obviously got more strength and more muscle than Esteval. And I guess that's the cause of what's made Esteval hit his other leg and then fall over. But I thought it was a harsh penalty, to be honest. Bournemouth, both teams are actually really open. It was a really good game of football to watch from a neutral point of view, like I said. And I think Chelsea fans should be worried with the amount that they've spent in the last 2 or 3 seasons, £1 billion spent. And some of the recruitment has been awful because watching it, look, I was a big fan of Garnacho. I can't deny that. And I really thought he had a big future at United, especially when he came through in that first season. But his end product is awful. Sanchez, who I think's had a decent season in goal, actually. I thought some of his keeping for the goals was awful. Their defense is shocking. Akim Pong, I think, is a young guy, so he was okay. Fofana has been, I think he was actually all right today. Chalobah, Gusto, it's just not it's not a good mix. Gusto on the left is poor. Gusto and Garnacho down your left hand side absolutely stinks. Casido wasn't great in the first half. Didn't really cover a lot of ground. Didn't really make a lot of tackles. Got a booking early on. Palmer, from what I saw in the first half, looked decent, but he gets doubled up a lot because he's obviously a threat. Delap up front, I thought made a good few decent runs actually in the first half compared to what I've seen of him in the season earlier on. So Bournemouth, I thought were decent, in the first half. Brooks was a threat. Semenyo was a threat. Evan also made some decent runs. Truffert, whatever you want to call him, the left back was decent in the first half. So yeah, I can't speak of the second half because I obviously didn't watch it. So let's take on to the Arsenal game. I had the United game on my phone and I had the Arsenal game on the TV. So I saw quite a lot of the Arsenal game. And the first half, I thought Villa were really threatening and were really good in the counter attack. And I thought I had some decent chances actually to probably get through. It was pretty even in the first half, I would say. But like you would expect actually between the team that is first in the league and third in the league. And then second half, Arsenal came out absolutely on fire. But you've got to question Emi Martinez keeping for such an imposing figure and someone that is usually quite decent at claiming crosses. His effort to catch or stop the goal for Gabriel was pretty poor. Like he looked really weak. Gabriel didn't really even put much of a hand on him, or if anything, or didn't really put any weight on him, and he kind of fell over from nothing and then held his face as he was on the floor, which was absolutely pathetic. But you've got to do better as a keeper of that stature to stop that goal. And Gabriel, obviously, a massive miss for Arsenal in recent weeks. They've been conceding a lot of goals, and he's come on in this game. He started in this game and had an immediate impact, basically because of the goal from the set piece. But shocking goalkeeping, to be honest. And I guess when it comes to Arsenal set pieces right now, they've kind of got that that feeling about them where you think that they're going to be dangerous, and that gets into the opposition players' heads where they think that Arsenal are going to threaten, and then because of that, it gets into your head. You start panicking when you're defending, and it ends up leading to a goal. Hence why Martinez probably letting that go. But it's poor, like I said. Zubimendi pretty much straight after. I think it's a couple minutes after. Odegaard went through, passed it through to Zubimendi. Great pass, great finish from Zubimendi as well. Really composed. Trossard, great finish, which he's obviously got in his locker. And Jesus, great finish as well. Dominant performance from Arsenal is all I can say. I think Tunji was at the Emirates, so I'm sure he could say more about that. But yeah, quite surprised that the way that Villa collapsed in the second half. And I guess you got to praise Arsenal for that, to be honest, because this is probably the statement win of their season so far. And I think they needed that. If I'm not mistaken, they hadn't had any points against the top 4 or 5 in the league so far this season, unless I'm wrong, right? because I think they lost against. Did they lose? Or maybe I think. Sorry, I think they had 2 points against the top five so far this season, up until today, where they've obviously made that 5 points now. So yeah, definitely a statement win for Arsenal. I've been saying that City are going to win the league throughout the season. I'll still stand by that, but definitely a point made by Arsenal, and I'm sure it feels good for Arsenal fans to get one over Unai Emery, especially after he beat them. Villa won, yeah, against Arsenal recently, yeah, away from home, just like 2-3 weeks ago. So fair play to Arsenal. Let's see who Arsenal have got next. Actually, if I can just double check quickly, Arsenal have got Bournemouth away next Saturday on this Saturday. Sorry, big day Saturday for those that know. Uh, and the form that Bournemouth have been on, you'd probably expect Arsenal to go and win that. But Bournemouth did put in a good performance in that first half against Chelsea, so it's not going to be easy, but you do expect Arsenal to win that game. United, I think we've got Leeds away in the next game. Sorry, just before that, actually, we've got some games on Thursday. Liverpool have got Leeds. You know what? Another thing that pisses me off about Amorim, yeah? Sorry, I know I'm taking it back to that. The one time I buy Dorgu in my FPL and I make him captain after his performance in the last game against Newcastle, where he played right mid and he played really well. This is his best game in a while. When I make him captain on FPL, don't ask why. I'm doing crap on FPL this season. I know. Amorim decides to put him left wing back, where he's been poor or average at best in the last 18 months. Why, Amorim? Why would you do that to me? Anyway, Liverpool have got Leeds on Thursday. Spurs have got Brentford, and Sunderland have got Man City. A repeat of the last games that we had. Uh, we got Josh Anderson in the chat. Oscar Pold shout out. Is that a joke or a reference to something? Because I don't get it, my bro. Josh, let us know what that even means. Am I missing something? I don't know, man. Anyway, so Arsenal have got Bournemouth and United have got Leeds on Sunday. And to be honest, I'm very well expecting Leeds to smash us 3-1, 4-1. Calvert Lewin is guaranteed a goal. It's going to come off his back from a corner, definitely. We're going to lose that game. So just any United fans. And like I said, where are those United fans that called me out after the Newcastle game? Because I messaged them, by the way. I told them to jump in this stream. But obviously, they got shook. I called them out in the last comments. One of them was called Chikorito413. Listen, at Chikorito413, where are you now? Yeah. And also at Siso972, where are you now? You guys are shook. You talk crud about United, about me being negative in the last game, and I told you that performance weren't sustainable. And where are you now? You're shook. Yeah, anyway, guys, unless anyone else has got anything else to say, I'm going to sign out, man. What a depressing game. Thank you to everyone that watched in the live chat. Man United have drawn 1-1 v Wolves at home at Old Trafford. The Old Trafford faithful had to sing to the United players, attack, attack, attack on the 60th minute, just to get the players to attack. Do you know how embarrassing that is? I had tickets to the game. I'm an Old Trafford season ticket holder. For those that don't know, I am so glad I sold that ticket and did not waste my time going 4 hours up and 4 hours down to watch that absolute piece of crap. Those United players, the senior players especially I'm talking to, I'll forgive the young ones for now. The senior players, you need to take a long, hard look at yourselves. Go in tomorrow, give all your wages to charity for the next 2 weeks because you do not deserve those wages. Ruben Amorim, you need to release a statement tonight saying you're not good enough for this club and that you support Liverpool or Manchester City or Arsenal or Chelsea, because I know you're not a United fan. You want to take us down. Leave this club right now. I want to see a statement as soon as I log out of this stream. Before I leave, yeah? I just want to see if Amorim said anything, please, yeah? I need to see if Amorim spoke because he needs to take some accountability. Can I not see any of his quotes? All right, listen to this before I sign out, yeah? Ruben Amorim will end the year with more losses than wins, never had back-to-back clean sheets, only won back-to-back games once, 31% win rate. And you want me to back this guy? Guys hounded me out for supporting and backing Ten Hag to the end, you know? And Amorim's got 31%. But because he's a new shiny toy, guys like Haroon and Ryan will say he's calm. But when it's a 1-1 draw, no sign of Haroon, no sign of Ryan, because their new shiny toy didn't get the job done. But because it's a new shiny toy, you're not allowed to call these guys out. Lost to a European final to Spurs, lost to Grimsby, finished 16th, numerous embarrassing results we must suffer. I just want to see if I can get Amorim's quotes up. Yeah, I can't find it, and I don't want to waste you guys' time. Anyway, I'm signing out. Thank you to everyone that watched. Shout out my guys in the chat, Safe, Tunjay, Josh Anderson. I have no idea what you're talking about. Peace, respect. Have a good New Year's. United have drawn 1-1 to Wolves. Arsenal are top of the league. Man City are fighting for the league as well. What a time to be a United fan. Signing out. Peace out.